Hey everyone, it's Dylan. We're back again for another week here in the shop. This week we are destroying one of our coffee tables. That's all I'm going to say. You guys are going to have to watch and see why. And then we're also using this new technique that's allowed us to get our bubbles, or less bubbles in our resin, so our resin is way more clear. It's actually a vacuum chamber. So I think you guys should be pretty interested to see how that works. Go leave a like on the video, really helps us out, and I hope you guys enjoy. So we are just getting ready right now to lift this big giant slab. I guess it's actually not that giant. It was giant.
It was giant.
It's pretty
14
wide.
feet, yeah.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to lift it into the mold. This is dining table.
Yeah, dining table.
What color?
Resin cast smoky gray, I believe.
I think it is smoky gray. Yeah, so it's not going to be a ton of resin, basically just a strip down this side, strip down that side, and some in the voids. Only two of us to lift it in right now, so hopefully we can do this.
Yeah. Down, and we get on top.
Okay, so we're going to calculate the resin for this dining table. Before you guys leave a bunch of comments, which I'm sure you're gonna already. Yes, I'm very sunburnt. That happened while we were away at Jerry's. Spent too long without sunscreen on the lake, so it hurts a lot. But how we calculate the resin for this, we've talked about this before, but we saw some comments. We take I'm gonna break it up into sections. So we take a measurement for length. I have 60 here. And in this case, this is actually a triangle, so I can calculate this like a triangle. So I'll go 60 by 10, and it's about 2 3/4, so I'll call that 2.8 inches. 60 times 10 times 2.8, and then in this case I'm going to divide by 2 because it is a triangle. So divide by 2 and then divided by 61. So basically a bucket, maybe that's 14 liters. And I'll just kind of clarify because that didn't make sense. So it's length times width times thickness divided by 61 equals liters. Okay, so we got the chamber rigged up. First bucket here is mixed. We're gonna throw this in and see how it works. Okay, so this basically how it works. There's a silicone barrier that just kind of goes around the whole outside of the lid. And this is our release valve that kind of will let off the vacuum. And this is the pump, so I turn the pump on, start this, then I kind of have to help it seal. And there we go. You can see them all coming to the top. A lot of them too. So what's basically kind of going on here, this pump is connected to this hose here and it's just drawing all the air out of this chamber. And as you can see right now, all the air bubbles are getting pulled up, and like there's a whole white foam just kind of covering the top of this. Look at it now.
Look at it. I know, look at it. Whoa.
Yeah.
A foamy.
So that's all the air bubbles kind of caused by our mixing. We did our pour with the degassed epoxy for the first time ever. It looks pretty darn good actually. Like there's a little bit of dust that settled on top, so that's all going to get machined off right now. So any imperfections are just sitting on this top layer, and that's actually part of the reason why we over pour, so that those imperfections don't get trapped in. And then now I'll kind of take you guys over here. We're doing this white oak coffee table. So it's another cast. It's basically completely transparent. and we gotta degas it again to try and get it really, really clear. So we're putting the dye in now. Today we're using Epoxy dye. You can basically use any kind of black dye you want though. We're going for kind of a transparent-ish color, so I'm going to put 4 drops of this stuff in. It is going to be different depending on which product you're using, but we'll mix the pigment in first, and then we're going to do the degassing because it kind of, you'll see, it puts a bunch of bubbles in when you mix. Tip we kind of found too is just to pour really, really slow. It's kind of awkward, but it makes way less bubbles. So this table that you guys just saw us pour, this is actually a replacement table for a warranty job. We actually did have a table go wrong that had to come back. So in the next few clips, you are going to see us explaining what went wrong and destroying the table. So sitting in front of me in Sauger right now is a table that we made. It was our second ever resin cast table and it failed. There's a huge crack and separation in this edge. Now, the good part about this is we know exactly why this happened. We sealed the edges on this slab and we also didn't take any of the bark off. Like especially up here, you can see lots and lots of bark still left underneath. So two things basically that screwed us up is by sealing the edge, you prevent the epoxy from soaking into the wood and you just get this plastic on plastic bond. Now, we can't stress this enough. Like we say this all the time and we still see people sealing edges. Like you get emails probably.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah, people saying like, oh, should I seal the edge or not? And the answer is no. Like I'm even in Facebook groups, like Epoxy Resin Facebook groups, many people recommending it. I'm gonna post this video on there to try and help you guys out, but the sealing the edge will make it separate, and then the bark that we left on only made things worse, and that's because the epoxy bonds to the bark, and then the only thing holding it all together is the bond between the bark and the wood. So it's just a combination of those two things made this fall apart. But what we're gonna be doing, completely free of charge, we're building this customer a brand new table. We've got more new white oak, so they're gonna get to pick all this out, and me and Sauger are gonna try and destroy this thing. Whoa, there you go. That is, okay, well now that's actually how you debark a slab. Yeah. All right, so we ripped her off, came right off there. Now what are we gonna do, Sauger?
We're gonna toss it off the trailer.
Yeah, we're climbing.
See if it breaks.
Yeah. No good reason why, we just wanna see how it breaks.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So on one of our pieces of carnage, like this is the slab, and you can actually see the separation and how easily like the two layers want to come apart between the slab and the bark there. Like this piece kind of just, it fits somehow in there. Yeah, see? It fit in perfectly like that, and then it just comes right off very easily. That was perfect. Here's the aftermath, so that last one really did it in. Especially on this edge, like all of the epoxy just got ripped right off, and again, all of the bark and that cambium layer just got left on there. So, sorry guys, this probably pained a lot of you to see, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Alright, so we just destroyed the failure table. You guys just saw us throw it off the trailer. We made that, I think that was like 3 or 4 years ago. So it completely separated. We just thought we'd have fun with it and destroy it. And then here is the replacement, and it's actually a huge upgrade from what we were building at the time our client purchased in the past. So we've degassed the epoxy, there's no bubbles. It's still white oak, so we're able to get that for him. but he should be pretty pleased with the way this one comes out. Hope you guys kind of enjoyed seeing that degassing. It's probably something that we're gonna be using for all of our pours coming up. And hopefully you didn't get too upset about us destroying that table. There was really nothing we could have done with it, so we just wanted to have fun and destroy it. And then another thing I'll mention is the water-cooled table plans are releasing next Friday when the YouTube video comes out. So if you guys want those, stay tuned for that because they are coming. And we'll see you next week.